They banned it out second in game number 1. They're going to go for the Azir this time. Faker having a pretty good game on that Azir in game number 2.
And, it was picked up as a first pick by SK Telecom in game number 1, so they will be forcing Faker into something new.
So you think their last ban would have to be Ryze then, because SK Telecom's probably not going to ban that out.
Well, what about the Karma? What does that mean? SK Telecom could certainly early pick a Karma.
Vlad.
No Vladimir.
Vlad makes sense for SK Telecom to ban away. Same 3 bans this game as they had in game number 2. And so they will ban the Ryze. So the Karma is available then.
Karma has been a pretty popular pick, first pick on blue side for SK Telecom this season.
Yeah, I think
could go back to the comfort, but ESC should definitely look to snatch that away if possible, and it will be the Karma.
Yep, makes sense. Not a whole lot else to worry about. Plenty of top laners available, plenty of junglers available for Bengi. Well, either Elise or Rek'Sai, either one he gets is okay. ESC though, thinking about taking the Rumble. What do you think about that? You wouldn't. I feel like you wouldn't want to take that in the first round of the draft.
I
like
would
this.
not blind pick it.
Yeah.
If you see the Trundle come out in this game, that's where maybe you start thinking about taking a Rumble pick here. But otherwise, I think the Gragas for Blessey's been really turning in a great performance on it this series, and I do believe you take the Sivir here also.
Yeah.
Sivir was one of the keys to your victory in game number 1. You also just can't give away the Sivir Karma combination, and they're just going to stick with the Gragas.
Okay, well, I mean, it served them well all night. I mean, even last game where things didn't work out for ESC, Bless still looked good on that pick.
Bengi.
And so, yeah, the Rek'Sai for Bengi would not be too shocking. He could go for the Elise, but he didn't have a great game on it last time, so might as well do this. And they might just pick the super safe Ezreal for Bang.
Yeah. Ooh, blind picking the Irelia. Well,
And be brave.
I mean, Irelia is just such a strong power pick right now that we'll have to see what ESC wants to do about it. No Shen on the table to effectively dodge out of those Irelia W auto attacks.
All right, well, the Bard is up for Key. He had the chance to take it last time, and he didn't do it, though.
I think you got to go for a lot of these picks right now. The Trundle, now that you know what the top lane matchup is a potential answer into the Irelia. Able to go toe-to-toe, certainly, in the 1v1. Thinking about taking the Nami away instead of actually going for the Bard. I think you played your strengths here if you're ESC, and try for the Bard and hope that Key is going to get some of those Bard plays that he is well known for.
Yeah, I mean, go for some engage. SK Telecom has looked a little bit vulnerable in terms of team fighting today, but they're going to go with the Nami anyway, so Nami Trundle.
Really saving that counter pick here for Tempt in the mid lane, and it's probably going to be the Karma in the mid lane, but of course Ezreal Karma is a very strong early game lane for Poke. You can't discount the fact that Wolf may be playing that Karma pick himself.
I mean, something like the Victor is still available for Faker if he wants to go for it maybe. I mean, LeBlanc's still an option as well.
Yeah, like you say, there are some good blind picks if they do want to select them, but instead they could go for huge amounts of sustain here with the help of the Soraka.
Well, it's like we talked about before the game, right? With Bengi having a pretty tough time impacting anything. You really want the strongest lanes you can possibly have if you're SK Telecom.
Well, they may go back to the Elise, even though the Cocoons were definitely not on point in the first gank last game.
Yeah.
Having that Irelia-Elise combination is scary for any top laner, and Trundle, another one of those champions without any real escape abilities besides just using the pillar.
So it will be the Soraka and the Elise. Locked in for SK Telecom. And yeah, the Varus for Tempt would be probably a pretty great pickup.
Will be able to poke from range, and they're setting themselves up for a lot of wave clear and a strong 4-1 split push composition.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ESC, if I decide to put all of the eggs in the crazy basket against Duke. I know that sounds the crazy basket. But when you talk about these two top laners and their individual skill, we really saw Duke outclass Crazy in the last game. And yes, he had a good matchup into the Hecarim, but even so, the Irelia, Trundle, it's going to be a little bit hard, I think, for Crazy to overcome Duke. And that makes a bit of a difference. Because they have to win the split push here.
Yeah. And it's going to be the Varus.
So a return to comfort for Tempt in the mid lane.
All right, seems reasonable.
A lot of poke in the mid lane this game. Tempt is, I guess, not going to run the cleanse, which is a bit bold because a cocoon into a tether from Faker could set up for a stun straight into a root.
He may change that summoner at the end, but or soon anyway. But yeah, the Ghost's a bit risky. Okay, looks like he will probably stick with it. Keep an eye on it until the very end.
Well, SKT, we'll see how well they can do. They won out of the laning phase this time. More passive lane this time around with the Ezreal and the Soraka. And they're looking to group up and teamfight around the Karma, as has been their wont this season. It is Faker's most played champion.
Yep.
And has been showing that style that they have had all year with Faker on more supportive mid laners, buffing up Bang so that he can carry these fights. And Ezreal, we've seen what Bang can do with that champion in the late game. It is a huge amount of damage.
Sure enough. Well, ESC Ever with a chance to take a win over SK Telecom. It would be a huge win, probably their biggest win of the entire first round. A great way to go into the next games next week. SK Telecom, a win here will put them at first place at the end of the first round robin. So despite some stumbling here and there, SK Telecom still arguably the strongest team in the league. Let's see if they can pull that off. And it is time. Game number 3, SKT versus Ever. Let's do it. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift. Another Infernal Drake. Could be a big deal as we move into game number 3 between SKT and ESC Ever.
Or dropped into the tri-brush, so a bit of early information here from ESC. Find out if we are going to get those standard lanes soon enough. ESC potentially on the cusp of a really big win, like you said, Bella, and this would harken back to the end of last year when they actually beat SK Telecom to win Kespa Cup, and then go on to IEM Cologne to win that too. And that was really what set off a lot of the expectations around ESC's performance, but they've failed to live up to those ever since then, making it into the league, but not having the strongest presence and finding themselves in 8th place right now, pretty far down the standings.
Yeah, true, but I mean, we've seen today that these guys certainly have potential. I know that's a word that's thrown around a lot in the League of Legends scene, but these guys really do seem to have it.
You gotta love how Bless has been playing this series. He has been excellent.
Certainly has. On that Gragas for the 3rd time tonight. See what he can do with it.
No, it's been very effective. Tempt is not going to switch over to Cleanse, by the way.
Yeah.
So sticking with the power to reposition in team fights with the Ghost.
Well, the poking begins immediately. Bananas flying fast and furious.
Just how I like my bottom lanes, Doa.
Bananas flying fast and furious?
Yeah. It's the most exciting kind of violence, banana violence.
Wow.
Just like banana phones are the best kind of phones. What can I say?
It's true. The data plan is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
In that you can't have one because it's a fruit, not an actual phone.
And banana hammocks are the best kind of underwear.
Are they really? All right. Next time on LCK Too Much Edition. Much information.
TMI.
TMI. Now we know. And G.I. Joe said knowing is half the battle, so whatever that battle is, I don't know if I want to know the other half of that one.
I think you do, Dylan. I think you do. I think you're deeply curious. It's okay. It's okay to be curious, you know.
You know, speaking of bananas.
Oh, really?
I got a blender, and I've been making banana smoothies lately with other fruits. It's been really good. Like grapefruit. And avocado. I guess avocado isn't a fruit, but I've been putting it in there anyway because I'm crazy like that.
It may technically be a fruit. I'm not actually sure.
I know like tomatoes go back and forth, but I think avocado is still a vegetable for now. Who knows? Who cares?
Not you, apparently.
Nope. Not at all. Food groups do not concern me. Only flavor.
Only flavor, the pure flavor of avocados. Man, those things are expensive in Korea.
Yeah, well, what do you expect, man? They have to import them a long way.
Or grow them in greenhouses, you know, whichever.
Well, I don't know if we have that technology here.
I'm pretty sure they do. Having been in the Korean countryside and seeing tons of polytunnels, I tell you they do.
Well, why don't they grow avocados then? Here comes Bengi to give us the answer. Crazy. Use of delicious, nutritious avocados to help him survive this gank. Same goes for Wolf, though, taking a lot of damage. Wolf in trouble, and Soraka gives up the first blood to LokeN.
Faker's in the bottom lane right now.
Crazy gets out in the top lane. LokeN very low. Bless backing off.
Yeah, Faker with a quick TP, but still couldn't save Wolf.
Yeah.
So TP used, but you still get a 1-for-0 trade. Nobody in the mid lane right now. Faker gonna lose a few CS, and Tempt will get a free recall back here.
Wow.
Crazy, we didn't actually get to see how exactly those ganks unfolded because it was the observer was switching back and forth very quickly, including switching back right as Faker TP'd in, so we didn't get to see what he did. But in any event, the replays will show us all, Doa.
I can't wait for the information to be revealed by the replays.
It's an exciting time of year.
Sure is, man.
Time of replays.
I'd only be more excited if they started growing avocados domestically in Korea.
Well, BF Sword at 5 minutes here, thanks to the first blood.
Wow, that's good for LokeN.
Picked up by LokeN, and in a matchup where Bang is going to be building tier first, that makes you a very happy little sipper.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
That's great.
That's what LokeN is right now, happy sipper.
Happy little sip. Bob Ross approved. It's a happy little champion and a happy little lane.
His happy little best friend sword.
That's right. Best friend sword.
Pretty sure that's what it stands for.
Absolutely. What else could BF stand for? Dive on the Crazy, but Bengi misses his cocoon again, and he will take a lot of turret damage before he flees in shame. And that will be the key for Key and Bless to go for this Infernal Drake.
Yeah, no recall yet from Bang, so he doesn't have any items. There's really not a great way for him to contest this.
Ugh.
Yeah, ESC gonna get a huge boost here.
Yeah.
In the early game, and Bless doing a much better job about playing around the Drake. You'll notice the change that Bless made. Hey Doa, did you see where Bless was ganking in this game?
Where? Bot lane? You're right, he was.
Bot lane with the Infernal Drake up first. And I think that was one of the adjustments that they made over the course of the downtime between game 2 and 3 was that they said, okay, Bless, like I know that you wanted to get the Hecarim ahead and really help out that matchup. And of course, you always want to get a Trundle ahead if you can.
Yeah.
So that you have the power of that split push. But sometimes you have to make a decision and say, I'm sorry, top laner, you're on your own in this game, or whoever's in the top lane. We need to get an advantage in the bottom side. They see the Soraka down there, very limited in terms of movement in the laning phase, and they just go ahead and take that advantage, get the gank, the successful gank off on the bottom side of the map, and now it's ESC with the Infernal Drake advantage in this one.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, too, getting that Infernal Drake does help your top lane. You know, it gives Crazy a little bit more damage on the stats. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Well, yeah,
it's help.
It will be a lot later, but certainly very low gold value at 5 minutes into the game.
Sure. It's an investment.
It is. It gains interest over time, becomes more powerful. That's how percentages work. It's a good time. And now ESC just flipping over to the other side of the map and taking away a blue buff. There's still waiting to spawn, so Bless snags that one straight out of the enemy jungle. And that is not going to be very pleasing to Faker and Bengi, as Bengi scuttle. What do crabs do? Do they scuttle?
He's not a crab, he's a spider.
A spider, yeah. What do they do? Crabs scuttle, so what do spiders do?
They skitter.
Skitter. Ah,
skitter.
You're right. They do skitter.
That's right. Skittering spider. Terrifying. Meanwhile, Bless
in the meantime.
Red buff. All right. Well, Bang with a little bit of his CS lead, so he's been able to hang in there with LokeN despite LokeN having that BF sword. But Bang has actually not even been back to buy yet. Wow.
No, he has not. And he's done a good job keeping up in CS in spite of that, but I mean, the tier going to be late as a result of this. Wolf's death early, I mean, he's been trying to stave off this incredibly fast wave clear. He's afraid now if he leaves the lane that this BF Sword Sivir, if Bless comes down, might actually just take out the turret.
Yeah, that's a good point. Might just be able to take the objective.
But basically no kill pressure, so it's sort of a double-edged sword because he can stay here and keep the pressure off, but at the same time, LokeN and Key do not have to stop pressuring because Bang has no mana and he has no items, so he's not doing any damage really.
Duke Transcendent Blades goes after Crazy in the healing, helping him win that duel. He's going to continue to increase his CS lead a little bit.
Tempt here, they're using Faker's recall timing just to push into the enemy jungle a little bit. Bless takes away the Raptor camp. No smite on Bengi.
Oh, Bang just picks up a Mana Mune just to be able to do some damage anyway.
Just trying to hold on in this laning phase, but the chip damage keeps coming in. Good to see Sivir and Nami. Still the double TP though for SK Telecom, and Duke doing just fine in the top lane. TP advantage. Crazy just used his TP to move back into the top lane, and Duke's just going to run. So now we see a potential opportunity at the next Drake for SK Telecom to really commit to that and try and make a play.
Yeah, it could be. Bang just continuing to farm. It's just going to be, you know, it seems like SK Telecom just wants this to be as passive of a game as possible early on.
Yeah, I mean, they do want to scale, right? But they can't give away too many of these very valuable Drakes and still expect to do well. That 8%, I mean, if they don't get an Infernal Drake this game, that could turn around the top lane matchup, and that is really core to how this game is going to play out as to whether Trundle or Irelia is going to be able to win that 1v1.
That's a good point. Wait and see what Dragon's coming at next. They cut away before we quite caught it. Ah, the farming wars. Duke definitely winning those trades for now, man.
Yeah, has a couple of completed items already, so he'll be doing A-okay. But the longer this game goes on, Crazy's ultimate is going to become pretty significant to how those little duels play out, because Subjugate is significantly stronger than Transcendent Blades. We're going to try and dive him again. Bengi this time, can he get this?
Oh, he misses the cocoon again. Well, to be fair, Crazy flashes it, so Summoner out of the way.
They use Faker's teleport for that.
Oh,
I mean,
wow. Yeah,
Bless still on the bottom side of this map, too. We have 20 seconds until the Drake comes up.
Well, they're going back in. The dive is real. Crazy does get taken out, and Bengi able to repel, stay alive. Meanwhile, LokeN does take the bot lane tier 1 turret out.
Yep, zoning him off the turret was Bless. And Faker, no more TP to use, so they're just going to wait at the Drake. Bless patiently clearing out the wards, and it's going to be a Mountain Drake.
Yeah, that could be big. And Ever's going to go for it.
Yeah, with their 4-1 split push composition, it actually is going to be pretty darn significant. So here we go, Drake taken away. They are going to trade turrets for it, but still the objective kill and the objective advantage in ESC's favor as they pick up their second Drake of the game. SKT will try and answer here with the Rift Herald, but it's going to be starting pretty slow, so Bless may have an opportunity just to get up into the top side of the map, considering how much HP that Rift Herald has. But
looks like it's...
yeah, they're going to go through it pretty quickly, and they're not going to make an attempt.
Should be fine.
Varus was back in base, so.
And we saw there's another Mountain Drake on the way now.
Well, this is all going to be about Duke. So he's got the lead in the lane once again. He's going to have a Rift Herald buff to help him out. So can they neutralize the Trundle? The rest of ESC, however, is going to be pretty powerful. Obviously, Bang's scaling is going to work well over time, and he hasn't been denied any CS. In fact, he has an advantage in spite of everything. So doing some great work despite not getting help in that bottom lane from his jungler.
I mean, when it comes down to it, when SK Telecom really needs Bang to carry, he carries. And that's kind of been something that's happened without exception throughout most of his career.
And that's why you ban Ezreal.
Yeah.
Ezreal is an extraordinarily high damage late game carry, so if Bang gets there, you know he's going to deliver.
Yep, sure. Duke delivering on to Crazy already. He's got that Trinity Force now. And when they start making him very fast, Irelia, with the Karma speed boost, it's going to get pretty scary for ESC Ever.
Yes, and the back line, especially that Varus, will have a lot of trouble dealing with Duke's Irelia if he has a huge lead, which he is slowly but surely accruing. Now you see Crazy having to recall yet again. Just can't get anywhere close to that minion wave right now. But the first two Drakes are Faker gets caught out.
That's right, Chains of Corruption onto Faker. There's a tidal
beautiful
wave coming through. Exhaust used. Nice Aqua Prison from Key, too, to lock that one up. And Tempt with the kill onto the mid lane. And now they're going to be able to do a ton of damage to this tier 1 in mid. They've got that Mountain Drake, and they're already putting it to good use.
Wow, that gank was incredibly crisp from ESC.
Yeah, no kidding.
They absolutely chained their abilities to the best, basically the best possible way you could do it. I mean, Chain of Corruption coming in to start things off, flash body slam straight into the tidal wave. They bounce him out, and then after the flash, the bubble, man, Key. Whew.
He predicted that one,
man.
Yeah,
beautiful Nami play.
Yeah, he had that one in the air before Faker even hit the button. That was beautiful.
So really well done. Get a kill onto Faker, and they take out the mid lane turret too. So maintaining a slight edge in the gold game and helping prop up Crazy just a little bit. So the rest of the members have to carry because it's not going to be Crazy in this game. At least not for a while.
If we go late enough, maybe. Battle of the Raptors, but it looks like Bless is going to possibly take this one. Oh. Bengi smited a little bit early, I think.
No, Bengi got
opposite,
it. Yeah. I haven't seen this Varus skin before.
Oh yeah, me neither actually. It's kind of cool. So cool, I didn't even notice it right away. Uh-oh, Baker on the run. No summoners except for that teleport. That's not going to help him survive. Two-shot barrage comes through to soften some people up, but LokeN's going to be right there to pick up that kill.
Very odd that Faker was even in the bottom side of the river.
One wonders what he was
start
doing there.
that off in the first place. Second time he's died in this best of 3 alone in the bottom river. He just simply surrounded by the members of ESC. Nobody there who could possibly help him from his own team.
Oh, wow, Duke flashing in, going after Tempt here. Bang, trying to pick up that kill. Transcendent Blades. Duke can't get to him in time. The pillar after the tidal wave, and ESC turns it around.
Yeah, great stop right there on Duke, coming in with both the tidal wave and the pillar to keep him under the turret. He dove just a little bit too close. Yeah, ended up with that turret aggro while he's trying to finish off Tempt. So that gank right there pretty much just horribly fails in the mid lane. And ESC still working on turning this one around. I mean, Duke comes in. That flash was a little weird. It looked like he didn't have to use that. I'm not sure why he went for that in the first place, but the explosive cast straight into the tidal wave and Crazy just showing up.
ESC has been chaining their CC so well.
Yeah, they've been doing great. Really clean use of their abilities, but man, Key has been awesome. Key and Bless this series have been absolutely outstanding.
Very impressive stuff. And at this point, the worries begin about SK Telecom. This game, you know, to a certain extent, it's starting to feel a lot like game number 1, isn't it?
It's certainly not out of control yet for SKT, and they do scale super well with this Ezreal, and Bang has been reliable, so.
They do, but Dragon Control going to ESC, Faker getting caught in the river, I mean, there's certainly similarities. Now Bengi, the one caught. Bless comes in with the body slam. Dodges the Aqua Prison with that repel. SKT going to try to turn this one around. But LokeN has got enough damage to be kind of scary on that Varus, and ESC will get out.
Yeah, the poke there, really huge.
Yeah.
From Faker and Bang. And giving up a Mountain Drake is not going to be the end of the world for ESC. They can choose here. They don't have TB either. And I think right now, you give up that Mountain Drake just so that you can get a little bit more farm onto your Trundle.
Yeah, probably.
Instead of just having him walk down into the bottom side of the map and contesting, but that may be the decision that ESC makes. They are in the river, just playing Ward Wars right now around the dot brush. Crazy still there, and Duke is the one to start motioning down into the bottom side. Has a pink ward in the tri-brush, so knows he can't be seen.
Yep, Cocoon does not connect. Wolf very low, so SKT's engagement options are limited. Explosive Cask knocks Bengi away. Faker forced to flash over the Chains of Corruption. ESC missing a lot of skill shots. Here comes Duke coming down with the TP. Tidal wave through the middle does slow down Duke a little bit. Wolf coming into this fight. ESC trying to kite backwards as best they can. Crazy coming from the side. Big pillar slows down SKT. Flashes in. Tries to get the ult onto Duke, which he does. Whoa, big true shot barrage. That's a lot of damage coming in from Bang already. Mountain Drake activated, but nobody able to really go after it yet.
Wow, LokeN absolutely saved that team fight for ESC because he swooped in with a Sivir ult and actually intercepted the Cocoon with Spell Shield that may have been able to catch out ESC. So Crazy, ambitious with a flank on the Trundle with just a Titanic Hydra. Gets chunked out pretty quickly right there, but nobody's actually able to take this Drake, and fight's going to reset. People pretty low on both sides. Crazy now with an advantage when it comes to the teleport timer if he does want to just wait this one out before heading into the top side and maybe seeing if he can get that top lane turret. That'd be a good trade for ESC, I think, at this point.
Yeah, ping's going down on the Dragon, so they're still kind of thinking about.
Well, Tempt has a very low cooldown on that Chain of Corruption. It's already back up, and so is the Explosive Cask quite nearly.
Yep. Should be by the time there's any sort of fight. Faker just heading to the bottom lane. Looks like SKT's going to give this one up.
Well, they don't have Wish any longer, which is a much longer cooldown. So if you're playing around your enemy right here, you have to be worried because 3 ults, Explosive Cask, Chain of Corruption, and the On the Hunt are all back up, and you're still struggling. No True Shot Barrage, no Wish. And you don't really have definitive ults on your mid or your jungle, so.
And so that's going to be 2 Mountain Drakes for ESC Ever. They're going to be able to push objectives such as Baron really fast.
It's scary, right?
Sure is.
Crazy becoming more relevant simply because of the threat he poses with a lot of these Drakes as we head into the late game. You can't leave him alone with a turret even if he's behind now.
Last waiting goes in onto Wolf. Whoa! Wolf just blown up. Tempt adding some damage into there. Bengi caught with the Chains of Corruption. Another kill for ESC Ever. Yeah, that's a TP you want to cancel.
Trying to get vision, and they were doing it the right way with the support in the jungler, but everybody was there, and except for Faker, who didn't have presence in the mid lane. So without the mid control, the collapse is pretty easy as Tempt is there. And they're going to try and do this Baron. As you said, going to go down fast with a couple of Mountain Drakes.
That's right, SKT trying to stop it. Sivir ultimate use. They're going to turn around onto the Baron again. Two-shot barrage goes through, doing a bit of damage. Duke coming in now. He could be scary. Gets 1 kill on the Nami. Baron does go over to ESC Ever, though, and that's 2 kills as well. If you include the Baron, I guess. 1 for LokeN. Gets the kill onto Duke, and Bang trying to chase. He added a lot of poke damage. Crazy turning and sacrificing himself to get his AD carry away.
I don't know if that's the sacrifice you make, Doa, because Crazy was going to be the one split pushing with the Baron buff. Of course, he's not going to win the 1v1 versus Duke, but let's take a look at this replay again. He's caught out. There wasn't anybody in the mid lane, and the Tempt was just there ready and waiting to collapse. They thought it was safe because Duke had been pushed so far up in the top side, but Bless is pretty far ahead right now, so.
Yeah. And now, how much can ESC Ever take with this Baron buff? That's the big question.
Well, less than they'd like with Crazy's death there at the end.
Probably, yeah. The split pushing options are a bit more limited.
Yeah, Crazy has to sort of awkwardly join up with the rest of his team now.
Yep.
They do have good wave clear. They do have good poke with the Boomerang Blade and the Piercing Arrow, so some work can still be done. Tempt not really going with a particularly heavy build for armor penetration in this game, actually going with an earlier Manamune. So armor pen only coming in from the Maw of Malmortius.
LokeN already doing work to that top turret. Man, you combine the Baron with the 2 Mountain Drakes,
that
disgusting.
Is huge amounts.
Destruction.
Yeah, huge amounts of damage to those turrets.
Yeah.
So they're going to try for a 1-3-1 actually, just temporarily sending LokeN up there.
Yeah,
take out the last tier 1 turret.
Why not, man? 5,000 gold lead now for ESC Ever. Crazy pushing up the bot lane. Pushing down the bot lane might be more appropriate. Duke comes in. And Crazy probably still can't win that 1v1. Do need to be a bit careful there. Bang with the true shot barrage to try to thin out the minion wave a little bit. And this tier 2 turret's still in quite a bit of trouble.
As Gold lead becoming oppressive.
Yeah.
Also mounting, but SKT holding at least for the moment. Their wave clear enough to get the job done.
Well, it's the items, it's the drakes, it's the poke that ESC Ever has. It's hard for SK Telecom to deal with.
Faker 2 going for the Zhonya's Hourglass here, just attempting as much as he can to stop the physical damage. And that is most of the damage coming out of ESC, so Armor very effective at handling ESC's composition.
True.
It's about holding on. SK Telecom, it'll be hard to do, but if they can hold it to the late game, armor stacking combined with the damage from Ezreal and the huge shields from Karma could possibly send them to a win, but already having lost one Baron and those 3 Drakes, it's going to be tough. Still, they did not lose an inner turret on that Baron, which is pretty clutch.
Well, that's the kind of hold they need to have a chance in this game.
Crazy going for Iceborne Gauntlet, so really committing to a damage build and saying, well, I'm just going to steal your stats, Duke, to add to my defensive statistics.
Hooray, statistics.
Statistics, your favorite subject, Doa.
Ah, yes, numbers. Numbers are my kryptonite, man.
Your only weakness, numbers.
That's right. I have no other weaknesses in the entire world, just numbers. Fortunately, numbers are pretty big part of everything, so it's a pretty big weakness.
All right, so Drake up in a minute. Duke still with that Rift Herald buff rolling. And once that falls off, maybe Crazy will be able to do a little bit more to handle the 1v1 situation. Possibly.
Bang going for his red buff now. Next dragon in about 40 seconds. And ESC can kind of just fight around it and continue to get an edge.
Well, they're moving Trundle away from the Irelia here. So they will have to use a teleport if they actually want to make this play. SKT having more options with more teleports in this game. Bang recalls right before. Should, with the home guard boost, have time to get back there. Lots of things going down the enemy jungle. ESC doing a better job of setting up and pushing forward. Bless prepping this Drake nicely.
Yep, that's right. Aqua Prison comes in. Bengi on the run has to flash in the red buff pit, and that's ESC's cue to go onto this Mountain Drake. This would be their 3rd Mountain Drake.
Oh, and they're just taking it down so quickly. Bengi not going to even pop in there for an attempt at a steal.
Man, and that's 3 Mountain Drakes now for ESC Ever. They are going to just annihilate any objective in their path. Faker slowed down by Crazy. He's kind of winning that duel. But yeah, you can't let ESC near your turrets anymore.
Yeah, what's SKT's plan? I guess they're just going to try and move into the top side right now, but you can't let them near Baron either. A minute and a half until the next Baron, and it is just going to melt for ESC with the 3 Mountain Drakes.
Yeah, we saw how fast they took it down last time, and it's going to be even quicker this time around.
All right, well, Crazy slowly working his way back into relevance here, but not really well suited to any kind of team fighting with the damage that he's building for the most part.
LokeN going to be able to do a lot of damage himself. Infinity Edge is going to give him the biggest crits, man.
It is. Fat crits.
Oh, yeah. Stay away unless you want to get crit from a distance, because he's got rapid fire cannon, too.
All right, well, here we go. Setup beginning for the next Baron. Crazy's just been bouncing between top and bottom, absorbing as much farm as he can. Attempting to catch up. LokeN will just push up this top lane for the time being, and that'll be in a good place for ESC once the Baron spawns.
Yeah,
SK Telecom trying to see if they could get a lucky pick there onto Bless, but it's not going to work. And they don't have any wards in the river at the moment. And the tier 1 turret in the mid lane still up for ESC, so they've got a really good hard point to work around right now as they play the ward game, top river.
Now, Crazy is pushing Duke back for the moment, but it's a bit safer for Duke to just fall back and farm anyway, I suppose.
Yeah, well, they don't have the waves in any kind of position right now to make a play, so SKT has to start getting a little bit nervous. Baron has spawned, and they don't have eyes on it. And they also don't have a blue trinket available to see it. Here we go. It's ESC's time. They should really consider this. True Shot Barrage has to be used just to check.
They don't see them doing it yet. Baker's starting to do a bit of damage on this Karma. Wow, Crazy and Duke really dueling down the bot lane.
Yeah, Subjugate used though. Crazy now backing off as it continues ticking. It's one less tool that they're going to have, and looks like Trundle going to recall right now. They've actually said Bang bottom side. They're trying to kill the Trundle.
Wow, yeah, they're trying to catch Crazy, but they're not going to be able to find him. Yeah, Bang already turning around. And I think they realize, too, that if they send Bang to bot lane, ESC can just rotate up to Baron, and they're going to be fighting a 4v5 without their AD carry.
That was actually smart of Bang, because they had a pink ward behind the red buff, so he could make a feint down there and see if maybe they could get that kill without alerting ESC to the fact that he wasn't going to be there to defend a Baron attempt.
Sure. Bengi just checking to see what's up. Fires a cocoon off, doesn't hit anybody though. Baron is up.
Still, ESC, I think they need to start pulling the trigger on this one, at least trying to bait SK Telecom forward to pick up kills, but they need to commit in some way. There we go.
Oh, flash body slam onto Bengi. He's going to try to repel his way out of there. Teleport coming in for ESC as well. Bengi taken out by LokeN. Faker thrown against the wall with that explosive cast. Flashes over the wall to try to escape. Slowed by the pillar, and that's a kill for Tempt. And this Baron is all but going over to ESC already.
Yeah, the poke damage still going to be coming in, but no jungler to help secure it.
That Baron instantly died. Nice attempt by Bang at the end to try to steal it with a Mystic shot, but that Baron died quicker than I think I've seen any other Baron die.
Yeah, Duke didn't even bother TPing in for that one. I mean,
no.
Bengi died so quickly, and I love the patience from Bless. Really just holding on to his explosive cask as long as possible. Right there, not using it, waiting for the repel to go through. And he realizes that he's not going to need it to secure that kill, which allows him to set up the pick onto Faker immediately afterwards. So just patient usage of Gragas' abilities, faith in his teammates to continue the CC chain to pick up the kill onto Bengi, and that is going to be a second Baron of the game for ESC and a near 8,000 gold lead.
You know, I mean, SK Telecom coming into this being the #1 team for Dragon Control in the lead, or in the league rather, and they have only gotten a total of 3 in this match so
also,
far.
ESC was second worst.
Yeah.
They're behind Africa. They only had 38%, so they are not... They haven't been typically getting those Drakes, but they have been certainly dominant in this game. Ocean Drake going to be up in 30 seconds, so that will be our third kind of Drake and the final one that we will see before the Elder Dragon spawns.
All right. Yeah, 4 Drakes and 2 Barons this game. Going to ESC. It was popped. They're just going to tear through another turret. They need almost no time now to take out these objectives.
Yeah, even the Trundle, who has been weakened in this game now, soloing that mid turret and throwing out a hopeful caster. Look at what the damage Crazy did. He got it down to about 1/4 already.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the nice thing about explosive cask as well is that you can use it to just push people off the turret, rush it, and take it. So it's got that utility as well. Bang taking a big Varus arrow to the face. Shooted by Karma, but man, look at that. Every time one of them auto-attacked him. Well, Bengi caught by the Chains of Corruption. Of course he's going to repel away from it. Meanwhile, Crazy just destroying the mid lane turret by himself.
He's got the Sheen too, so
yeah,
really able to do a number on that objective. And ESC patient here. Bang. Takes a big boomerang blade.
Yeah. All right, well, they'll take out this turret with no trouble at all. Wow, Cocoon hits a minion from Bengi. That one hurts. Inhibitor down to about half health already. Meanwhile, Crazy still fighting in that mid lane. Inhibitor like one hit away from death. LokeN has to be healed. Uses that summoner heal, in fact, to stay alive. And so no inhibitors taken, actually, by ESC Ever. Gonna just fall back and go for that dragon, I guess.
Yeah, time to just go back. No need to over-push your advantage. You got the 2 inhibitor turrets down. Play it slow and steady with this edge that you already have. Continue stacking those drakes, because now you have 5 drakes in this game. And if you get an Elder Dragon, the true damage is going to be ever so real.
Yeah. Well, you gotta think this game might be over before that Elder Drake shows up.
Well, we'll see. There has been a little bit of a hold right here from SK Telecom for the time being. Only a little bit of Baron left to go before it expires, and there it goes.
Yep, still 11,000 gold down is SK Telecom. They're trying to make a play onto a LokeN who does not have a lot of vision right now, and they're going to find him in that Tribe Rush. LokeN trying to back away, gets out with the cleanse, uses that spell shield as well.
Yeah, Bless holding on to his explosive cask yet again.
Yep.
Just in case they had a chance to re-engage, not going to use that ability, does get his AD carry out of that situation. SK Telecom's trying for the desperate pick attempt right there, throwing down the ping ward, realizing that he didn't have vision. And LokeN making a bit of a mistake, walking a little bit too close to a scary, dark area of the map.
Could be anything in there. Karen's SK Telecom. Normally having SK Telecom in the fog of war and you don't know where they're. Normally that's a scary thing.
Not when you've got Bless on your team.
Yeah, today maybe not so much. Crazy going in onto Duke. They both have GAs, so this is going to be kind of one of those eternal conflicts that never ends. Bless. Aggressive ESC comes in, going on to Duke right now. Whoa, nice tidal wave. Actually zones out a lot of members of SK Telecom. As Duke comes back with that GA, a little bit of health left. They're going to get the kill now. Kill onto LokeN. SKT backing off. It's a 5v4. And with those 3 Mountain Drake buffs, they should be able to push in here and get an inhibitor or 2.
This may be the end of the game, Doa, depending.
Certainly could be.
With Duke dead, that is one less threat that ESC really has to worry about for their backline, which is going to be poking in onto these Nexus turrets.
There's 2 inhibitors.
Just so much damage. Wow, ESC playing this incredibly safe. They say, okay, we got the inhibitors down. We don't have a wave in the top side. But we do have a Baron coming up in a minute and a half. We can chain that Baron directly into an Elder Dragon.
Sure.
So they're going to play this methodically, Doa.
You know, talking about SK Telecom's strength in the late game, though, normally it'd be like, well, it seems kind of worrisome to let SKT go this late, but it's such a big lead already for ESC.
I mean, it's 13,000 gold and 5 dragons. So yeah, you're not coming back from that one.
Yeah.
There are limits to how much a super buffed up Ezreal can do. And we found them. We found them, Doa. Tempt's like, whoa.
Oh, there you go. Oh, blue buff. Wow, so sneaky.
Weird for that giant golem to be a better ninja than Shen.
It's true. Much better. We didn't even know where the golem was for a moment.
Yeah, we always know where Shen is.
Oh yeah, every time.
It's like shouting about where he is, creating giant purple shields, having a stupid glowing sword follow him around.
He's in the band room right now. Waiting out his band.
Is that like the penalty box? Is that where the champions go?
Maybe.
Just shove them in there for the game. You're not wanted here. Go away.
Yeah, there's all the other like 100-some champions that just weren't picked our band, and they're just like, well, at least we're not in the band box.
Meant to be in there alone with that insufferable guy Shen, always like yelling and stuff.
Yeah, like Shen, quiet down. He's like, I don't know the meaning of quiet. Well, all right, Bang getting eaten by a troll, gonna flash away, and that is really scary, man. Crazy is huge, gets exhausted, turns onto Wolf now, and 4v1, and they can only bring Crazy down to about a 3rd health. Baron is up.
And it's going to die instantly.
Yes, it will.
Wow, look at that damage.
Jeez.
Triple Mountain Drake for you, ladies and gentlemen.
That was the 2 members of ESC doing that in the beginning. Tidal Wave used, Bang, he's going to walk around it.
Yeah, smart.
ESC just backing off.
Smart to burn the ult right there. The wanted to use the tidal wave just to disengage because they did take a lot of damage on Tempt and LokeN as a result of that Baron attempt. So tough to turn around and fight after that. Again, ESC staying very calm and collected. And coming into this series, we said that was one of their faults, is that they don't play around objectives well. Well, they absolutely have been in this Game 3.
Yeah.
They haven't been taking unnecessary risks as by the book as you could want it.
Wow, look at LokeN, 452 CS. He has been farming up a storm this game, and he's 5-0 too. Huge performance on that Sivir for him. ESC looking like they want to end here. Coming in, Bengi slowed down by the turret. Both inhibitors in mid and bottom down in favor of Ever. Got super minion waves on the way.
Yep, just the patience though.
Yep.
Crazy eating a little bit of poke on the side. Bang. Likewise though, takes a piercing arrow, and Duke has to return.
That's the cue. They're going to go in. Sivir ultimate used. Going for the turret, making a pick onto Bengi. Wow, blessed with a big explosive cask. Splits up SK Telecom. That is exactly what ESC wants to do. This could be the final fight of the game as they move in. SK Telecom fighting for their lives, but they will end the last match of the first round on the losing end as Duke can't even fight. There goes the second Nexus turret, and ESC Ever comes in, and what a big statement at the end of round one, taking down SKT 2-1, GG.
And that makes SKT 1-3 in their last 4 best of 3s.
Yeah.
They've taken losses now to Africa, Jin Air, and ESC. Their lone win against Longju. So perhaps a troubling time for SK Telecom, but ESC ending the first round robin with a statement match.
No kidding.
Bless and Key were just fantastic in this series. Excellent play from both of them.
You know, and you really can't say that it was just SK Telecom playing really badly. I mean, this was more Ever beating SK Telecom than SK Telecom beating themselves.
And you have to like the way even ESC played in game number 2. Yeah, it got out of control with the 2 Infernal Drakes, but look at the adjustment that ESC made in between those games. They were able to say, okay, now we're going to play differently.